Hi, we're going to do Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, as you can see, we've got a fair few chords here. There's also, it doesn't have the diagram here, but there is a D down here as well. But I'll run through the chords real quick, and then we'll go over the song. So, first chord, we have C. Should be familiar with our C already. So, first finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and we strum all the strings. And then G. We've got first finger on the 2nd fret of the C, second finger on the 2nd fret of the A, and third finger on the 3rd fret of the E string. Strum all the strings. And G7 is kind of like a backwards G, essentially. So we rearrange our fingers. First finger on the 1st fret of the E, second finger on the 2nd fret of the C, third finger on the 2nd fret of the A. There we go. And we've got C7, nice and easy. It's just first finger on the 1st fret of the A. And F, you should know our F, we've done it quite a few times before, but first finger on the 1st fret of the E, second finger on the 1st fret of the G. Strum all our strings. Then E7, so E7 is just like a G7 with one finger moved across. So E7, we've got first finger on the 1st fret of the G, second finger on the 2nd fret of the C, and third finger on the 2nd fret of the A. Strum all the strings. And then we've got a D chord. There's a couple of ways of playing this. Some people might find it most comfortable to sort of do this and have first finger on the 2nd fret of the G, second finger on the 2nd fret of the C, third finger on the 2nd fret of the E. So we're basically there. Now, a lot of people find it easier just to press their first finger all the way across, because essentially we're pressing the 2nd fret on all 3 of these strings. So I tend to do it like that. I just find it easier. So there we go. So I'll have a quick strum through the song, and then I'll kind of go over some of the bits. They're quite nice, fairly comfortable chord changes. They flow into each other all right. So let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him, and they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. There we have it. Now there's an optional for slightly more advanced players. At the very end, you've got this optional C, where you basically do your G shape, which is usually there on the 2nd fret, but you move it all the way up to the 7th fret. Don't worry about that if you're just kind of doing this for the first time. So, we start off with our C chord. The Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny, and then on the G, sorry, on the word nose, we change to G. Nose. And if you ever saw it, to G7, you would even say it. Back to C, glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him, to G, names. They never let poor Rudolph, to G7 now, join in any reindeer, to C, games. And it's basically 2 strums on games on the C, and then we go down to C7 for 2 strums. So it's quite a quick transition that. So I'll just run through those chords, that G7, C, C7, and then into an F. So we're basically going G7. Join any reindeer games. Then. So it's just a kind of. So the C7 is almost a passing note. And then we go to F for then one foggy to C, Christmas Eve. Then to G, Santa came to C chord, say. Then we go to G, Rudolph with your E7, nose so bright. Then D, and we do single strum on the D. Won't you guide my... And then G7, single strum again. Sleigh tonight. Then back to C. Then all the reindeer loved him, and they shouted out with, to our G chord, glee. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. G7, you'll go down in history. And then halfway through history, history. Good to see. Re. And then you can go up to your alternative C if you like. So I'll just play that through one more time. I'll play it through nice and slowly if you want to try and follow along. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him, and they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.